But yeah, I'm like, I want a big life too.
I want a big life too.
But I like this little life. Right. I like where I am.
Like, I don't want to compromise myself to get to that big life.
Right. And yeah, what is that? Does it mean that I'm not going to be able to spend time with my family to do the other things that bring me joy? Am I going to compromise my health?
Right.
Am I going to compromise my mental peace and tranquility?
Mm-hmm.
Hey. Cheers.
Cheers. We have to welcome back.
I'm excited. Welcome back to Two Little Wine Podcast with
Jada
and Ashley.
Cheers.
Getting a little ahead of myself.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, guys, this is crazy. Ashley serving me some tart cherry juice that tastes like kombucha.
It's just some...
Girl, is it gonna put me to bed?
No. I don't. Well, I tried to make the sleepy girl mocktail, whatever, with this, and it had me up all night. So
really, did you do the other one or just this one? Because there's two types of tart cherry.
I did the other one. That's like the all natural.
This
or whatever.
Is crazy, Ash,
and it's good.
Well, how was your week?
Chill. Nothing.
I don't know.
It's chill.
I feel like life is passing by way too fast. I think I mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, we're about to be in we're literally, February's over.
Yeah.
We just started 2024. I don't know. It's giving me like low-key anxiety. Like, I don't know.
Well, do you have somewhere to be?
Do I? I mean, in June, yeah. Like, I'm trying to be cute for the summer. I'm like, time is slipping away. I don't know. I feel like this week I've been drained and like, I'm like, stop, like just everything slow down. I don't know.
Yeah.
I get in these funks where it's like, all right, Jada, speed up. But yeah, you're right. I have nowhere to go. I need to slow my ass down.
Just enjoy the ride. Yeah, the moment. Let me think about what made my week good. So I'm not just saying it was good. I had to rest a lot. I felt like I didn't have like too many things, even though I will say there were things on my to-do list that I set last week that I haven't accomplished. So, yeah. I guess it's been a little slow.
Yeah.
Time is going by fast, but I am slow in like slow motion.
I think my brain needs to slow down. It needs to like just enjoy the time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I be getting in my head.
I hear you. Well, today we are going to be talking about the Mexican fisherman story. So we're going to roll the clip and then talk about it. And we got some questions.
Yeah.
Get the discussion going. So let us know if you've heard of this story before. But for those of you who haven't, we're going to play it now. Shout out to our people behind the scenes.
Yes. Y'all be killing it.
The Mexican fisherman story. Are you familiar with that?
No, I don't think I am.
An American businessman goes on holiday to Mexico. He gets taken out fishing by a local Mexican. And he asks the Mexican how he spends his time. The Mexican says, I fish a little on the morning. I catch enough for my family. We go back. We cook. We laugh around the fire. And I spend time with my children. And the American businessman goes, that's stupid. Here's a better idea. What you should do is actually spend most of your day fishing. And then with the surplus fish, you could sell them at the market. Mexican fisherman says, and why would I do that? Once you've got the additional money, you could start to employ some of your friends. And they could come out fishing with you too, and you could catch more fish, which you could sell at the market for more money. And why would I do that? You would be able to incorporate in America, and you would maybe be able to start a canning factory so that you could own the entire production process, and you could then sell the company for a lot of money. And why would I do that? He said, because you'd be able to fish a little on a morning and then go back and spend time with your children around the fire.
Very good.
And I often think about that as a much more direct route to happiness.
The place you end up is the place you started from.
So I feel like that video, it just came up on my feed, but it's been like everywhere, right? And everybody has their like own like version of what they believe is like, how do I say it? I keep saying like, but you know, like the happiness, right? At the end of the day, like what is true happiness and why go through all that mess if you're going to end up right where you started? Yeah.
Yeah.
So how, like, when you first watched that, what were your thoughts?
So when I first watched it, what I took away is like what is really important, right? Like thinking about what's really important to you and how you go about getting it. Like there's two ways to go about getting it. I ended up going down like a rabbit hole basically and watching other people's interpretation and understanding of the story. And I came across this one guy who was, he was on vacation. He was talking about how like he travels and like all this stuff, but he doesn't necessarily need the luxuries of traveling. Like this is important. And it was like a campsite set up for him. Then I started thinking like, yeah, but to travel, like you need money.
Yes. You can't just like pick up and travel if you don't have like the basic necessities, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So that kind of like, it made me start thinking about like, what is really important in life? But then also of like the whole like American dream and like we are always seeking for more and having this like super,
it's almost like a false narrative. So for me, I immediately thought about like when we go back to visit DR, right? And it's very slow. It feels like old times. I don't know. That's the way that I can describe it. Like happiness is so different over there. Like just chilling outside in like your little barrio or like eating local food and not, there's a mall near us, but there's not much to do, and just soaking in that. I feel like listening to that, the Mexican fisher story, I see the divide of like those moments towards where we are now, but it brings me back to like ignorance is bliss kind of, right? Like to him, that's everything. He's like, why would I do that? Why would I do that? I have everything. And I feel like sometimes like the more that I know, the more it just fucks me up in life, right? So like when we go to DR and we have those moments where it's like simple, I'm like, dang, that's happiness. That's like,
what I
feel more fulfilled than like working to survive to then do those things. It's like a freaking cycle, like a vicious cycle.
It sounds like, it reminds me of like when he's saying the businessman is saying like you are setting up a life and then you can have a break.
Yes.
And the Mexican fisherman, to me, I'm thinking like, well, he's living a life that he never needs a break from.
Exactly.
Like that is just it.
Exactly.
It also makes me think about like in the United States, what do we value? We value a lot, like as a whole, like money, material things. And if you think about like other countries, that's not as important.
No.
I vividly remember, it just came to me, studying abroad, right? So when I studied abroad in Spain, we had a dorm, and in our dorm is where we had like our classes were right in that same building. There was a cafeteria in that building, whatever. So it's like 8 a.m. Everybody's like rolls out of bed and goes into the classroom and we're waiting for the professor. Here, if you're 15 minutes late, that classroom is going to be empty in a second. So we're all waiting. We're like counting down the minutes. Boom, 8:15 comes. The whole class goes to get breakfast. It was like literally next door or whatever. So everybody's in the cafeteria and I'm like, oh, I see the professor. I see her like coming in.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, well, I'm not going back to the classroom. I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to my room.
Yeah.
It was a Friday. Like we're going to get the weekend started, whatever. I felt so bad.
So you went back?
Because she was sitting in, like, you could tell she was like, what is going on?
So
like,
it was only...
She came out, went to the security, like...
So it was only like Americans? Like you guys were all Americans?
Yeah.
It wasn't like you studied abroad with other
No,
people.
Everyone was from here, like from my school, yeah. So me and this one other girl are like, she's like, yeah, like we should go tell her, whatever. So I went and I said to her, I said, oh, hi, like... she's like, where's the class? Like, whatever, what's going on? And I said, oh, like, typically this is how... you know, our custom after 15 minutes. And she's like, oh my gosh, well, where are they? Like, can you go get them? And I was like, and I said, well, I don't know if everybody's here. I don't really know where everyone is because I wasn't about to go, you know, tell everybody. But she said, you know what happened? I ran into my friend on the way in. Like I ran into somebody who I hadn't talked to and like we just chatted, you know, like that's their norm.
Yes.
Like just being, she's like, and then she was going into like culture and stuff like that. It was actually interesting because it was a class about Spanish culture and like all this stuff.
What
which
are
is
the
really
odds?
funny.
Yeah.
But she was like, yeah, like here, that's like 30 minutes is, I think that's what it was. I think she was like 30, 40 minutes late.
I feel like it's just slow paced.
Yeah.
Like they indulge in the little bits of life that make it that much sweeter.
Yeah, well, same thing. Like they close even in DR. Like they
Yeah.
close
During
12
the
to 2
noon.
or whatever, 2 to 4.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a whole different.
And I crave that, I think. I feel like growing up in America, you don't really, like, before I jump ahead of myself, right? When you're, like, when you come from DR, born, raised, like, you live in DR, you still think of the American dream. You want to leave the country. You want to go to America so you have a better place, the opportunities,
like
right? Better opportunity.
Yeah.
But then what I find is that we come, we work, but then we go back eventually, you know, like once they get a certain age, they get their money up, like we go back.
A lot of time that's people's goal, right? To like retire and go back home.
But go back home because they realize that this is a scam. In my head, that's the way I feel it. Because I feel like this is a scam. Like, what are we working so hard towards? But then there is the divide of like the people that don't have to like work to survive, like the 1% or whatever. But I feel like I don't know, that 1% is freaking huge because there's too many people that got so much money out here. But that's a whole nother story. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like the more that I think of it, the more sadness I feel. Like that, listening to that made me so sad because like, what is it that we're doing? Like, we just want to, and I think maybe that's why I've been having such a hard week because I'm trying to slow down in this fast-paced world that we're living in because we have created this. Like, this is our normalcy.
Like, okay, that's gonna make me happy when I
achieve
when
this.
I reach this, I'm gonna be happy. When I reach this, and then thinking
when
about
I have this,
bringing yourself back to the present moment of like, what is making me happy right now? Like, where am I right now?
And what do I truly need to be happy in this moment? Yeah, I feel like I'm always chasing a high of being content, of getting to the next level, but because of that. Because of the world that we live in.
So what do you need to be happy? What do you feel like you need? Like, if I have this is what happiness means to
like
me.
At the bare minimum, like peace, but that I can't just say peace. It's so, I don't know, it's so simple. Like literally just like a loving environment, even if it's just like my family, like a house to live in, like having every basic, like the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, like just having the basic things and love. I really wish that I didn't need a job. But at the very bare minimum, like what I need to survive is, I think love. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you think about like your basic needs are met as far as like shelter, food, like all of those things, right? Love.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I can go into like other things, but like at the very minimum. And then I think too, I don't know how this is gonna come off, but like ignorance, like in the sense of the term, like ignorance is bliss. Like I don't want to know too much because then I feel like that's when things become unhappy. And I think that's just like a personal thing. Like when things start to become too complicated, or I like Adam and Eve, like you know too much, right? Yeah. I'm just like, At the very bare minimum.
And that's like a privilege, right? To be able to be like, okay, this is to be in a certain bubble and to not have to know certain things, struggles of the world, of other people. Like,
yes,
that's a privilege. Yeah.
Yeah. How about you?
For sure. I want like good health for me and my family, like loved ones, faith, and I would say peace. I laugh when you were like, I can't say peace, but like peace in my mental.
Yes.
Like if up here I can have like clarity and just be like, if I don't know how, but it's gonna turn out. And so like having that faith, then I think I could be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that would
suffice. Like that's enough.
Yeah.
Like for the fisherman, like he's able to provide for his family. He's able to play with his kids and like be good,
Yeah.
be able to wake up the next day and do it again. I think at the core, like, that's all I really want and need, which is crazy, right? I feel like you grow into this though.
Yeah.
Because I remember sitting in college, it was a course that I took even after I graduated and got my degree. It was just a personal finance class. And I was like, you know what? Like, I need to learn about this. But in the class, we had to break down our finances. And I'm going on a little tangent, but this is related. We had to break down our finances. We pretend we got a fake check or whatever. And we had to break it down to zero. Like, break down your check to zero. So allocate dollars for everything. And it was kind of like she gave us like a default where things were already filled in, and we had to just like, let's say we got $2,500, the $2,000 were already kind of spread out, like utilities, rent, clothing, food, whatever. And then there was like there were other suggestions, but you could just like list your own. And some of them were like giving back to the community or donations and stuff. And I remember like in that time, I was like, oh hell no, like I don't have money for that. Like I was putting it towards like credit cards, and in my head, that's all I could think about. All in my mind in that moment, I was just like living to survive, to pay my bills. I wasn't thinking about traveling or giving back to the community or going to a movie. Like, it was just like little things, or like going to an art fest. It was so cute. Like, and we all had to stand up and say these things, and I'm shy, so like I'll be the last one to stand up, and everybody's saying what they allocated the extra funds for, and I'm like, damn, like I'm so embarrassed that I wasn't even thinking about the little joys or the little things that you can do for other people if you had this. But in my mind, I was like, I can't afford this. Yeah,
like
survival.
It's that survival mode of like, this is all I'm gonna have enough for.
And it was like there was no cognition, and I don't know if that's the right word to use right now, but there was no like, oh, you can still pay these things off and still enjoy after, like enjoy, take that little bit to enjoy. Yeah. For me, it wasn't that, but yeah.
And when I feel like being like young, you're thinking about like, what am I gonna do that's gonna make me, and this comes, and now I'm like thinking about like, if you think about childhood, right? Money, or like making sure that we always had enough to be able to do all the things that we wanted. And I think we've said this before, like we were spoiled.
Yeah.
We never, thank God, like nunca nos faltó nada. But just of that thing of like, we saw our parents work really hard so that
we could have
those things, right? I'm kind of losing my train of thought.
No, but even so, going through that where we had everything, we got to enjoy. I feel like I still was like, no, like fight or flight, right? I still need to do all these things. Like the American businessman, I still have to do all these things so that then I can.
Well, yeah, because
someone like trauma based,
all of those things, but it wasn't because our parents weren't working.
Yeah.
Multiple jobs, like 9 to 9, like, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't in a place where maybe like other people weren't in the place of the businessman where they had a corporation and it was canning. They were fishing.
Yes.
But what it took for them to like bring home and to be able to have that joy at the end of the day was just more than what because what was important to them was to make sure that we had everything, or like all of that. So
it's so hard to just be like, yeah, everybody should be like the fisherman, because that's not like, in a lot of cases, not realistic. But at the same time, it's like we do need to slow down.
Yeah, well, because I think if everything physical, everything we could touch just disappeared tomorrow, money can be here today, is gone tomorrow. You can have things today and tomorrow they're all gone. Like, what is really important at the core?
Yeah, like
I have you seen on TikTok I'm about to do it. It's funny. I think I like this little life.
No.
I think I like this little life. No,
but that's cute.
Well, it's basically of like the simple joys. Like, I like this life that I have. I like it, and maybe it's hard, maybe it's this, maybe it's simple, but I like it and it's mine. I saw somebody, I saw a tweet that was like, I want to get behind that trend, but I want a big life.
Yeah.
Right? Like, she's like, I can't say it because I want a big life, which I can appreciate that too, right? And like resonate with that. But I'm like, even in feeling like you want these bigger things, even if you want the business, even if you want the corporation, like whatever, enjoying where you are now
in that moment,
right? Like it's not, it doesn't happen overnight. And considering too, like the sacrifice, right? So it's a give and take. And how do you find that balance? But yeah, I'm like, I want a big life too.
I want a big life too.
But I like this little life. Right. I like where I am.
Like, I don't want to compromise myself to get to that big life.
Right. And yeah, what is that? Does it mean that I'm not going to be able to spend time with my family to do the other things that bring me joy? Am I going to compromise my health?
Right.
Am I going to compromise my mental peace and tranquility? I'd rather keep the little life and have those things.
Correct. I feel like there was this, it's not a saying, but I remember, and I don't know if it was my mom that used to ask us, like, do you want to be like rich? Do you want to like have like, it wasn't a wealthy life, but would you rather be rich or like do something like for work? It was for work. Like, would you rather have a job that pays you well, you can do anything you want, but you're miserable? Or would you rather have like basically low income, like you're not getting paid regular,
yeah, like comfortable,
but you're doing something that you fully enjoy, like it fully fills your cup. And I remember, like I said, different mindsets, right? As a kid, I'm like, I don't care, like I just want the money, like, and slowly, right, in my subconscious, I always did that. I was always trying to like feel that, like find more money, but more money doesn't bring more happiness for me. At least
more money, more problems.
For real. I found myself super stressed out in these situations where it's like, yo, I put myself in this. Like, this is what I wanted. I said, I like manifested this. I wanted the money. And now I'm miserable. And I could travel, but I'm miserable. And it really made me think, all right, at the end of the day, what makes you happy? And now I can say, like, I'm going towards that life of just happiness. And now even worrying about, like, the money comes after, like, that comes after. Like, life is way too short to be stressed out about all those other things, like the businessman. Like, I'm good. I don't want all I don't want all that.
Yeah.
So go.
So what do you think? So I think about, like, if you're rich, you got the money, like you don't have to worry about financially. Because I also think this idea of being comfortable financially, for me, it changes. You know, what I thought when I was like 15, 16, what would be comfortable is different than where I am now. Like,
absolutely.
So that comes and goes, that changes. But you were in a place where you felt comfortable. What are the things that you're like, no matter what, I'm still gonna do it? This is just a part of me.
What do you mean? Like, what do you mean?
Like, okay.
Go.
No matter how much money I have, or like if the access to the best chefs, this, that, some instant mashed potatoes will always hit.
Oh, they will always hit. But that's because we love potatoes.
Well, yeah, but also, like, I think about like ramen. I would never be too good for a ramen.
Oh, absolutely not.
For a regular ramen though, because I'd be trying to buy like the organic or like the Trader Joe's. It's not the same.
It's healthy, but it's not the same. No, you know what I always say? Like, and I want to stop saying this because it's kind of like negative, but I always say, like, I would still be a broke girl at heart. Like, when me and my boyfriend go to fancy restaurants like that we can afford, right? I always be like, ooh, look at this. Like, okay. Like, I don't know. I feel like, ooh, like this is bougie. Yeah. But it's like, no, like, this like we deserve this and all that. But I don't know. I feel like I will always feel like, what's the word? Like excitement towards things that
even if you've already experienced it or whatever, you still have that like excitement.
But that comes from like not being able to do it before. So
yeah, another one is Chili's.
Oh,
I love Chili's. I don't know what it is about Chili's, but it's like that's like one of the chain restaurants that I'll never be too good to eat at Chili's.
So I don't like Chili's, but I feel
good, but you know what I mean.
I feel the same way about Applebee's and Olive Garden. Olive Garden is trash. That is not Italian food, but I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. I'm like, I want the
nostalgia.
Yeah. I want the breadsticks. I want to eat so much salad that I can't eat my entree. I want to take the Alfredo home and heat it up the next day. Or like
Yo,
Applebee's will
it's
always
like mad
hit.
greasy the next day.
Like the last episode, we was talking about like our comfort foods. Like I will always eat beans and hot dogs,
Yeah.
like or mashed potato, like the instant mashed potatoes and the hot dogs. Like I don't know. Stuff
Yeah,
like
and
that.
it's funny because I feel like the instant mashed potatoes, I remember us always eating that
Yeah.
together with hot dogs.
Mhm.
And then I have made them not too long ago, and I was like, wow, like this is literally just bringing me right back to Mama Nana's house.
For real. I don't know. Other things other than food that like I would like do no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's a hard question. We'll have to like revisit that.
Yeah.
Cause we're I mean like we're not starving, right?
Yeah.
So we can do things. I don't know. But I'll always be shocked and surprised at like the little things.
But,
I think that will always be me, no matter how much money I have.
which is good. I think that that's a beautiful like trait and thing to have
Yeah.
of like not. Again, like this could be gone. Like tomorrow, this could be the last time that I could go to this fancy restaurant. Like, so just fully enjoying it and being like, oh, wow.
Like, this is
okay.
cute. Look at us.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd be like, calm down, Jada. Like, act normal. I'd be like, can I taste that? Can I have a little bit? Okay. No, but I thought that you was gonna say, because there's a little trend going on TikTok or Instagram or whatever that if you won the lottery and you didn't tell nobody,
there will be signs.
I thought that's where you were going. So you've seen it.
But there will be signs.
There will be signs. Cause yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I have thought about it. It's so funny because I'm not a lottery player. But I do remember like playing the little scratch tickets in the store.
Yeah.
But lately my boyfriend he's been asking me for like dollars or whatever because I have change. And he's been buying his little lottery tickets. I'm like, yeah, go ahead, take it. Because if we win,
This is for us.
he was like, no, those are my dollars. You gave it to me, like jokingly. And I'm like, no. Low key, it was mine. So it might be 100% mine. But anyways, I think my signs would just be, well, I always travel. So nobody's going to know anything different. I'm just going to be traveling a lot more. Yeah. I think that I would probably, I'll be eating so good. Your girl going to get thick. That's a sign.
I think I saw one that I saw was like this huge compound, and it was like I don't know how many acres, but it was like basically like her whole family living like in their own little thing, and I'm like, yeah, I think that would be my sign. I'll try to if I could have like
the Kim Kardashians, basically.
Yeah,
that
if I
family.
could have like all my favorite people living, like I could just like walk over.
Oh.
That would be so much fun. That would be too much fun.
It would be like money doesn't exist. Everything is fine.
That's part of that like happiness. Yeah, my peoples.
I think that I would have vacation homes everywhere. Yeah. Like I will be out. Like I'll be here for like 3 months, there for 3 months. Silent signs. Yeah. I would definitely, because I'm not big on like designer, to be honest. Yeah. Like I'm so simple. But I would definitely have like, if somebody saw me, they'd be like, where did you get that? Or why do you have that? I'll have like a designer bag. Yeah. Like hidden away. That would be a sign for me. Because that's not something I do. I don't care for those things.
Yeah, no, I'm not like a designer. I rather go on the trip.
Yes.
I rather like.
Yes. So that's a silent sign. If you see me with a designer, guys.
It's because you won the lottery. I hear you. It like hurts my heart. Right? So like, again, because I be thinking about like, this thing could get ruined in a second. Like,
oh yeah. When I first, and this is so silly, but like when I first got Yeezys, like now they're like beat up because I don't take care of them. When I first got them, like I was like, no, I gotta clean them every second I get home. I gotta like dust it off. I wasn't. No, thank you for the podcast, guys, because I'm finally wearing every single pair.
But I think that's the thing too of like, sometimes when we get something that we wanted or whatever that's material, then we like, oh, now we can't wear it because we got to take care of it. But what's crazy is if I won the lottery, there will be signs, but I don't play the lottery. So chances of me winning
If I win, Ashley will have some. So there will be signs.
There'll be some signs.
I love it.
Yeah. Oh man. But I think that the Mexican fisherman story just is a nice reminder to like appreciate the little things in life and like remember why we do things and what do we really want at the core and
what really matters,
Yeah.
what really fills your cup at the end of the day. And hold on to it.
Yeah.
We forget it a lot. I forget it a lot. Like
It's so easy to forget in the hustle and bustle and the like everyday
chaos.
And there's always something like in your face, the next big thing or like whatever. So yeah, let us know what fills your cup. Let us know what are the things that you feel like you absolutely need to be happy in this life.
Let us know the signs that we should be looking out for when you win the lottery.
If you win the lottery, we want to know. You don't
And
gotta
also,
tell
can we
us,
have
but-
some? Because I love you. Like, we friends. You're tuning in. Like, I want to know.
Oh man. Bueno, cheers.
Cheers.
We'll see you next week
See you next week.
on Tuesday.
On Tuesday.